Hello friends, today's topic is Charlie Kirk's reaction part 3. Let's rant.
So I was in a Facebook argument about Charlie Kirk's death with someone that I used to go to school with. She sent me a comment under one of my posts about how horrible it was, and she kind of posted a video of someone using the Bible to justify Charlie Kirk's assassination. And this person was saying that Charlie reaped what he sowed, right? So, of course, I had like this righteous indignation, this righteous anger, and I was going back and forth with her because, like, what in the world, this person obviously didn't know what Charlie Kirk's platform was about. And if they did, why would they say that? I'm like most people, like just shocked at some of the reactions I've been seeing to such a gruesome event, especially from people that are claiming to be Christians, right? So in the middle of my exchange with this girl, my friend calls me, and she doesn't exactly think like me. Pretty sure she voted for Kamala Harris. And I'm telling her, I'm like, girl, I'm back and forth with this girl, and she this and she that, and my friend is quiet. Like, she didn't have the reaction that I would have expected, right? After hearing, what I was talking about. And I was like explaining to her about Charlie, and I'm like, have you ever listened to him? She's like, no. And, I could tell that she kind of was in the camp of, thinking he was a white supremacist. And so I'm telling her all these things that he was saying about black people that were true. And she's just like, well, to be honest, even if what he was saying is true, it's kind of hard hearing it come from him. Like, the messenger is sometimes, it's kind of important. And so I thought about it after the phone conversation, because during it, I was really irritated. I'm like, if it's true, it's true. It shouldn't matter where it's coming from. It's true. But after I got off the phone, I started thinking more deeply about what she said. And because the other girl, I didn't know. Okay. Like, to me, in my mind, she's just monster, right? So I started thinking more deeply about myself and how I ended up being, thinking like how I think. And I thought back to my college days when I was attending an HBCU, and it was the heat of the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean, right in the heat, the early stages, and I was a supporter. And but my boyfriend at the time, now husband, was a true man of God, and he was not a crowd type of person. He didn't follow crowds. And so he never supported Black Lives Matter. And I remember being so irritated with him and like, why are you not supporting this organization who is fighting for us, in the midst of all this brutality, right? That's how I'm thinking. And that's what I communicated to him. And he told me, like, straight up, I don't like what they stand for. And he showed me the website, and I saw that most of what they had on the website was about, like, transgenderism. It was about, like, some communist stuff, like, as far as, like socialist stuff. And it's all come out now that the owner, she actually ended up buying like 4 mansions with the money and moving to predominantly white neighborhoods, which is like, what's the irony of that? But if someone who was white had come to me and said they did not support Black Lives Matter at that time, I probably would have thought they were racist, just off the jump. No details, no data, no statistics would have probably convinced me that they weren't racist at the time. Like, that's how closed off I was, But because my husband was someone that I knew and I loved, I was like, more receptive. And from that moment on, I always determined to like slow down and think about messages that the media were trying to present to me. And that's how I ended up thinking like how I think today. Like, I don't just jump on bandwagons when it comes to black news, because I was deceived into supporting an organization that directly conflicted with my beliefs. And so, anyway, and I thought about another example. And this is came from my like marketing brain, right? If I was a like say that there's a 300-pound woman, right? And she's trying to sell a supplement, a weight loss supplement. And she's like, if you take this, you're going to be 110 pounds. You'd be like, okay, that's nice. You wouldn't look into it. You would not take that supplement. You'd be like, you're lying. Because if it worked, it'd work on you. And I think that unfortunately, a lot of people didn't give Charlie an opportunity to hear him out and hear the things he had to say, literally because of what he looked like. And of course, you had the media portraying him as a white nationalist, not giving the man an opportunity to really share his beliefs with people that were black, because black people automatically cut him off. They just shut the idea of him off. And so at the end of this Facebook argument, the girl said something so heartless. She was like, in 3 days, no one's going to be talking about Charlie again. And I'm so ready for that. And something inside of me was like, no, not this time. Like, we're not going to just let it die this time. It woke up something, I think, spiritually in a lot of believers that was like, we've been quiet for too long. And now evil has took over. And it's time for us to do what God called us to do. And that is to preach the gospel. And so I thought about all of that. And I'm like, how can I not just feel bad for Charlie's death, but like, how can I make it count? And I came to the conclusion that there is nothing like that a black person can say that disqualifies me from telling them the truth. I'm black, dreadlocks, black husband, black family, underprivileged neighborhood is where I came from, went to a HBCU, and I just feel like that is going to be what I focus on, discussing things that deal with the black community and faith, because there's a lot to black history that the media doesn't want us to focus on. They want us to focus on things that constantly make us angry, like slavery and lynchings, and all of that stuff happened in our history. But it is not the sum of who we are. It's not the sum of who we've been. Black people have an amazing history filled with faith and courage. It's truly a beautiful underdog story, some of these people that came from slavery and excelled. And a lot of this anger and hatred that black people have, which it is a fact, there are some black people with true hatred which came out in light of Charlie's assassination. And it is a spiritual thing. And that's what I'm going to focus on to make Charlie's death count from my end. And every single black person that thinks like me, that thinks with the biblical foundation, that knows how they try to use and abuse black people, you need to speak out too. We need to make Charlie's death count. We can't keep hiding our beliefs because we don't want our friends or our neighbors or our family to ostracize us. Because biblically, God said, you must. Now, this is a hard scripture, but it said that unless you hate your mother, your father, your brother more than me, you are not worthy of me. And God is a God of love, right? So why would he say that? But what he means is that if you cannot choose him over your family, you are not worthy. You're not able to be a disciple of his. If you're not able to take up your cross, which is a method of torture, and follow him, then you're not worthy. So we have to get up, use our voices, use the things that we found out and share it with other black people because they're not listening to it from other sources. So that's all I wanted to say.
Anything that you want to talk about? Please comment down below and thank you for watching.